of Vedanta, there are three major textbooks or the scriptures, which is Upanishads are the foundational textbooks. And within Upanishad, we select 10 Upanishads because those 10 Upanishads gives a complete end-to-end picture of the Vedanta or yourself. Vedanta means yourself. And Shankaracharya wrote commentary for this 10 Upanishads. Having said that, there are two other books. The second book is called Brahma Sutra because Upanishads are not in a systematized format. Right? The sequencing is not there. It talks always about a vertical slice, and that's why we have to study these 10 Upanishads. So, how to systematize this Upanishad? Vyasa or the Badarayana systematized this Upanishad teaching in the form of a sutra literature, and this literature is known as Brahma Sutra. Just like Patanjali systematized the yoga teaching, Vyasa systematized the Vedanta teaching and is known as Brahma Sutra. And the third category of the literature is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a literature which enhances the Vedanta teaching, Vedanta into practical life. So it's taken some ideas from the other schools of Indian spirituality, such as Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, and enriched Vedanta and presented Vedanta for day-to-day life. So these are the three major categories of scriptures. And other than that, we saw there are a few more scriptures which are Prakarana Granthas, which introduces Vedanta to a new person, right? That is what we are doing. And we said like there are books like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Vivek Chudamani, Aparokshanubhuti, Drik Drishya Viveka, Prajagovindam. All these fall under the category of Prakarana Granthas. This is what we saw the other day. And of course, there are Bhashyas and there are Puranas, there are Itihasas. We just touched all of that. So having understood what exactly is the metadata, what exactly we are talking about, now let's get into the actual teaching. So the first lesson we are going to do is human pursuits or the human goals. So give me the full attention and think through it, means think with me, because rather than don't take it blindly, just think and assimilate what you are listening, because otherwise it won't make any sense. It will be just an intellectual exercise. Yeah? AC, I don't need it.
No, like. Oh,
that's not a light.
Yeah. We can switch it off.
Yeah, you can switch it off if you want. We need here for the.
No, I think it's one of those.
Okay.
Then, yeah, this is the one next to the door, maybe.
So every living beings, whether it is.
You can let the other one be. The one on him. Oops. Yeah, that one. No. The other one as well. Yeah.
Every living beings, right? The living beings can be classified into multiple. Like you have unicellular organism, like amoeba. You have little bit more life's expression can be found in plants. And further evolved beings are the animals, because it can move, it can have little bit of intelligence, etc. Right? So the animals are there, the unicellular organisms is there, the plants are there, and the chimpanzee, which is very closer to human being, is there in the ladder of evolution. And finally, there are human beings. Every living being in the earth will pursue some goals. And especially, there are some additional goals for the human being. That is what we are going to see today. What exactly is the goals pursued by human beings? Interestingly, the modern psychology has done a very similar study. I will introduce that at the end. So, every living being, if there is a unicellular organism, amoeba, they have done some experiment. If you put some heat on the side of a glass hoop, and if you put the amoeba in the middle, you could see that the amoeba will move away from the heat. If an animal finds a threat, definitely you can see that it will move away. In the winter season, you can see the birds or animals moving from one part of the world to the other. And when the animal is hungry, it seeks food, it seeks shelter. the basic security for life, which is food and shelter. It is sought after by almost all the living beings in the world. Trees, they will seek definitely food. So there are some goals, whether they do it consciously, whether they are doing that by a programming or by instinct, it doesn't matter. Every living being in the world seek some security. Security in the form of food or shelter, or if there is a danger, it will try to escape from that danger. That is common to all the living beings. Like that, what exactly is the goals sought after by every human being? You all are here today. You could have done something else. You could have watched a movie, you could have gone to a bar, or you could have gone to somewhere else, or you could have spent time with your kids. But why did you come here? It was a choice. So, like that, every actions we do, there should be some goals in our mind, whether we realize it or not. Why are you going to work? Because you need money. You want to feed the family, and that gives money, that gives me security. Every action you do, right? So, why are you going to a movie? You want a little bit of entertainment. Why are you going to do a charity? Because you wanted to make sure that you feel good. Why are you studying Vedanta? Everything you do in the life, there is a goal for that. So the rishis, ancient rishis of India, what they did was analysis and classification is a standard scientific method in any study. What chemistry basically did? They analyzed all the elements and they categorized that into 105 elements. Physics, they classified the forces into weak force, strong force, gravitational force, electromagnetic force. Every scientific study is basically trying to analyze and bucket things into different groups. Like that, the ancient seers of India did an analysis on the goals pursued by all the human beings, and they named it as Purusha Artha. Purusha Artha, that is the Sanskrit word. Artha here means, Artha is a word just like any word in Sanskrit, it is context sensitive. What is the difference between context sensitive and context free? You already talked about it. Context free means if you say a word,
That's the meaning.
the meaning is universal, right? Any place, any time, any context, the meaning won't change. But if it is a context sensitive word, depending upon the context, the meaning will change. So the word artha is a context sensitive word. And here in this particular place means artha means one meaning of artha is meaning itself. Artha of a word. So here the meaning is goal. The goal and Purusha. Purusha means the human beings. The goal, the universal goal sought after by all the human beings are known as Purusha. We need to know this, right? Because as human beings, we need to know what exactly we are seeking, what exactly, why we are sweating, why we are toiling, and why we are anxious, why we are worried. What exactly are the goals of our life? And a scientific study, a well-defined scientific study is done in our scriptures, and that is what is known as Purushartha. Why I am using this word Purushartha means when you look at the Upanishad, this word comes left and right. And if you don't know the meaning, gone. So that's why we are introducing that term also here. And according to the research of the rishis, they found that every human being, every goal pursued by any human being, listen to this, every goal, every potential goal pursued by any human being can fall under only 4 categories. There is no 5th category. Any goal you tell, this can be put under this 4 category I am going to enumerate. And they are known as Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. Have you heard of this term? Purushartha. Chatur, Vidha, Purushartha. Chatur means 4. 4 type, Vidha means type. Purushartha means goals sought after by all the human. So there are 4 goals. Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. Any goals you say, it can be bucketed into one of these. So let's try to understand. Artha, the broad sense of Artha, one meaning of Artha is wealth. Artha, material wealth. So in other words, it can be symbolically, meaning is securities. Securities, any security you have, Money is a security. Because if I have enough money, I feel secure, right? Relationship is a security. Power is a security. I feel secure when I have power. House is a security, right? Even security means, yeah, I'll come to that type of points. But there are so 80% the initial struggle for any human being is to get securities. I'm going to elaborate that on a little bit, but let me enumerate the 4 points. The second goal is known as kama. Kama means, don't loosely translate, it means happiness. Any goal you pursue for getting some entertainment or happiness is known as kama. We're going to elaborate that. And the third goal is known as dharma. Dharma means harmony. I'm going to explain that. Conformance to universal law, which we already talked about, but I'll explain that. And last one is known as moksha. Moksha means freedom. So this is what we are going to cover today. Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. So today when you go out, you should have a clear understanding of what is Purushartha. The terminology is already familiar. And what exactly each one of these Purushartha means. And why Vedanta is focusing more on that Moksha. So this much is going to be clear. So let's go to the first one. So these are the first set of Purushartha, which is Artha. Kama is pursued by all the living beings. Initially I said, what is pursued by human beings? Animals also seek security. Animal also seek pleasure. Right? So means this is common to human beings as well as the animals. Whereas the second Purushartha, Dharma and Moksha, is particular to human. So out of these 4 Purusharthas, the 2 Purusharthas, which is Artha and Kama, is pursued by not only by human beings but all living beings. Whereas Dharma and Moksha is exclusive to human beings. So these 4 goals are collectively sought after by all the human beings. And because of this Dharma and Moksha, human being is considered as different from the animals. So there's a beautiful verse in Vivek Chudamani. So Vivek Chudamani tells, right? Aharam, Maithunam, fear, bhayam, these things are common to human beings and animals. Every animal will seek food. Every animal will engage sexual relationship. Every animal may have fear. What exactly that one faculty that makes human being different? Vivek Chudamani tells is your intelligence. It is the intelligence that makes a human being a human. And then Vivek Chudamani concludes that if there is no intelligence, that human being is like an animal. Pashubhir samanaha. Without intelligence, if you don't use the intelligence, right? Some people carry the intelligence like this. Donkeys carries the idol or kumkum. They don't know the value. Like that, you carry. So you have to have the intelligence and you have to make use of that intelligence. So somebody tells you that don't use intelligence in the scriptural study, you have to use it. If you want to go to Vedanta, Vedanta never undermine your intellectual skills. That is very important. So when you have intelligence, right? But is a deer going to worry about, okay, tomorrow there will be an economic recession? Little bit of they will plan, but human being can foresee a lot of possibilities that are happening and plan for that. Animals have something, but they are all programmed. The God has already programmed. Like if I told you how the lion hunts the other day, that is already programmed in them. It is not that a lion would do differently. Every lion would do that because it is programmed in their intellect. What is the difference between a programmed logic and what is human being is doing? We do have a choice, right? Today, you had a choice to come here or not to come here, or you could do something different. Kartum, na kartum, or anyadhara, they say. You have a choice to do, not to do, or do otherwise. When you have that infinite potential of choice, right? You can pursue the career of a carpenter, you can pursue the career of a software engineer, you can choose to do charity, you can choose to cheat other people. All that is in our hand. When we have that much varieties of combinations and possibilities, it is the results of our intelligence. We could always foresee what could happen. Risk management, which is such a big area in the modern world. What is risk? What is the definition of a risk by anybody?
Forget.
See, there are three things. You have known and unknown, right? Just take these two words. I'll just differentiate what is risk. Known means that is something certain. It is already happened. Known means certainty. Unknown, uncertainty. You cannot do anything. You can have some contingency. That's it. You cannot plan for it. But whereas there is third factor, which is known unknown. Tomorrow there could be rain, so better carry the umbrella. Tomorrow there could be an economic recession. It is already coming, right? So better update your skills now. So this is the risk management, and how that risk management is possible. Because you have the intelligence to think about the possibilities, and if that happens, how to mitigate or how to transfer or how to accept it. Why do you take insurance? All the forms of insurance. You are seeking further security, but it is due to your intelligence. So it is that intelligence that makes a human being, and it is the intelligence that differentiates between a human being to another human being. This is very important. So this is the role of intelligence, and because of that intelligence, you do have the possibility of the other two purusharthas which are not available for animals. Animals are instinctively programmed. They are programmed to seek their security. They are programmed to seek pleasure. Whenever they feel for it, they go and have some pleasure. That's it. And but the human being can plan for it can mitigate the risk around it can cheat other person to get that security, you can cheat another person in getting what needs to be done. All that can be done. It is due to the intelligence. So the intelligence is what makes a human being a human being. Okay? And it is the natural evolution of the intellect, the brain. You've got a reptilian brain. If you study the biology, you will see a beautiful evolution of the brain. Right? Initially, it was a reptilian brain. It got evolved into a mammalian brain, and finally, your prefrontal cortex got developed. The prefrontal cortex is the region where any sensory input will come. Where do you have a possibility to analyze that based upon the past information, and you can take care of it. And how the brain works, it is amazing, right? No instrument in the world can be even compared to the human brain. There is a wonderful book. If you want to go and read it, there is a beautiful book called A Brief Introduction to Human Consciousness by Dr. Ramachandran. Beautiful book, amazing book. It gives you the power of the brain, how the brain works. It is really good. It is worth reading. Okay, so
What was a brief introduction to
human consciousness. Next week, I promise I'll keep all the books, almost all the books here. So you can go and keep all the books plus one Kindle, because my Kindle has almost 200 plus books. And anybody wants, they can come and read it here. So, okay. So I talked about speciality of human beings. The human beings and the other beings are common. Seek food, take rest, protect themselves, propagation of species. Right? This is what I saw. But the difference is in the intelligence. So I just explained this. This intelligence or the buddhi is what makes a human being a. So that's cool. So now let's see each goals in detail. The first goal is known as artha. Why? Because that is the most common goal sought after by almost everywhere. When you came to this country first time, right? Most of us came with $200. That is the same life story for all of us.
yeah.
What was your first priority? Going to a vacation in Hawaii? What was the first goal? Get settled. So, going to Hawaii is karma, whereas getting settled is artha. So, first priority of any human being is security. Artha stands for all forms of security. All forms of security. So, wealth, power, influence, name, fame, relationship, degree. What exactly I consider as security may vary from one person to the other. For me, it might be money. So, what I would do, I would sweat and toil for getting money. I'm not saying that it is bad, right? Again, please don't take that way because you need security for sure. If somebody comes back and say that you don't need security, that is wrong cheat. You need to understand exactly where each one falls, right? So security is mandatory for everybody. And what exactly you see security? Olden times, the parents used to invest in their children. They think that, right, when they grow old, nowadays that won't happen. So what do they do? They put money in retirement savings, 401k, and then what happens? The security needs security. The investment needs to be secured, right? So you invest that in a reasonably low risk investment, or you diversify your portfolio, you take insurance, all that is even security for the security. You buy a home and then you buy a home insurance. So security is very important. Why do you buy that home insurance? Because you are worried about your security, which is the home. And the security, that which protects your security, needs to be protected. Olden times, people used to employ guards. So security is sought after by every being. Clothing, right? It is security. Winter clothing, summer clothing, and everything. So that whatever you seek for the removal of potential fear or discomfort is, and this is sought after by every being in the world, not just humans. So even animals and plants seek some form of security. So, but as I said earlier, right, for animals and the plants, there is a limit in seeking security. Their behavior or the seeking security is governed by the natural programming of it. How instinctively they seek security. That's it. But human being, there's no end. 15 years back, I thought like $1 million is good enough to retire. When I get 1 million, it may not be good enough. Earlier, I thought having a house and a job is secured. I always joke in that Gita class, right? When we were studying, if you could imagine the job you have and the money you have, you would have thought that you would be completely secure. Just take a moment and ask yourself, do you feel secure now? Body, the security of the body is important. So initial period of time, you may seek money, you may seek education, you may seek everything. Later half of the life, health, the body becomes insecure. So you might try to balance the security in different directions, right? Physical security, like your health, your relationship, everything. And this is from womb to tomb, we have to seek security. And unfortunately, in some third world countries, if you go to Africa or some interior villages, their entire life is after this security. Even the water, they don't have water. So, do they worry about anything else? Don't they worry about iPhones or any Nintendo Switch? Nothing. See, I was just watching the kids here and watching the kids in a third world country. In a third world country, a balloon is considered as a big thing. Here, even if you get a Nintendo Switch or a whatever it is, Xbox or whatever it is, they're not happy. So, this is very important. So, the security is sought after by every being, and for human being, there is no end. Why there is no end? Because you have the capacity to think, You can think about some new danger, new threat, and every new potential threat you think demand new security. 20, 30 years back, nobody worried about cyber security. Now cyber security is so big. And now tomorrow, that will be fine. We may conquer cancer, but something else may pop up. And sometimes the human intellect will create some danger, and you have for that you have to find security. Right? So this is very dangerous. But at least do you agree that all of you seek security? You will go to work, you buy houses, you build relationship, everything is for security. So let's go to the second goal. Second goal is calm, unpredictable nature of pleasure. So now you have little bit security. Think about your own life story. Why should we take anybody else's a third person's life story? I'm just thinking about myself. So when I came here in 1999, as all of you, the first thing was make sure that your job is secure, that you have some place to stay, at least you have a few $1,000s for winter, or if something happens, you have that. Okay, in 1 year you got that. Then you started buying a car, or car is essential. I'm not talking about that, but you started traveling for vacation. You started buying some gadgets. You started investing in something, and you started going for vacation in other countries, etc., etc., etc. Slowly started. Now, fast forward. All of you might have come here some 10, 15, 20 years back, or even more than that. So now, going to a European trip is normal to all of us. It's nothing luxury. It is part of our life. Why am I going to Europe? Definitely, it's not for seeking security. In fact, I spend some security I have for that, but I'm lacking something, right? So when I do certain activities, when I do certain things, when I meet some people, when I go to a trip, I get a feeling which I like. And that feeling is known as pleasure. Pleasure. I like it. It's an emotion that comes to my mind. It gives me rejuvenated. It makes me recharge. So once I'm sweating and toil, I want something to recharge me. I want something to rejuvenate me. I want a pleasure, a feeling. So any forms of sensual pleasure you seek come under calm. Even some tasty food. If don't tell me that it is for health. If it is for health reasons, what do you need?
The basic food.
Protein, carbohydrates, and so what type of, you don't need a 5-star hotel to do that. But why we seek fancy food? It is pressure. I like it. Tongue demands some pressure. Every sense organs demand certain pressures. That's why Swami Chinmayananda joked, right? These sadhus, when they go to Himalayas, Rishikesh and Uttar Pradesh and all, basically they're cutting down all their sensual pleasures. There is nothing to see for eyes, only Ganga they can see. And after a period of time, nothing new to see. No dance, no cabaret, no disco, nothing. No gambling. And for taste, there is no music. There is no sense of touch. You don't have cold. You're feeling cold. So every sense organs, the only thing that is available is picture. Sadhus means everybody will feed them. So he was joking. What happened? Such people, he just joked. He said, the knowledge and wisdom will accumulate in the middle. So such Mahatmas or Mahapurushas, their greatness needs to be measured with a tape. But what I'm saying is different. What I'm saying is, once you feel that all these are emotions, even security is an emotion. You feel that security is your life, right? A sense of security. When you don't have that sense of security, what happens? Worry, fear, anxiety is going to come. I don't have money. I don't have money to send my kid to school. I have a health issue. My house has problem. my job is at risk, it results in an emotional disturbance. That's why I'm acting on it. And when I fulfill certain things, what happens? A sense of pleasure comes to me. And that sense of pleasure is known as karma. When you eat a good food, when you travel to a beautiful location, when you see a movie, when you see a music concert, all these things, you're spending money for what? I want that experience. And that experience, essential pleasure, it is known as karma. So it is the next stage, and you can see it's like a pyramid. So once you have little bit of security, you may go to the karma. As I said, like when you are in a hospital bed, worrying means waiting for death, you may not worry about karma. Your goal is get out of it. But once you are a little bit comfortable, you seek karma. And what exactly gives you that pleasure is variable. Some people like Carnatic music, and some people it's a torture. Some people like biking, and some people it's a torture. It's endless variety, and from person to person, this karma varies. And from time to time, the karma varies. I still remember as a school student or as a college student, what was the biggest pleasure? A movie, right? A movie would have been a good happiness for all of us. But now, I feel that now the movies are in your fingertips, so you don't watch anymore. When you had this audio cassette player, right? You may have some limited 4 or 5 cassettes. You used to listen all these songs. Now any song you can it's in your fingertip and you listen nothing. So, but time to time you seek something, you pursue something which gives you that sense of happiness or the pleasure. And this is what is karma. Animals also seek pleasure. But again, that they procure, they seek pleasure, and they have happiness. It is proven. But it is 100% instinctive. Whereas humans, look at the gaming industry. Oh my God, how much innovations they are coming up. Look at the entertainment industry. That is a huge industry. So you have so much of innovations for what? Because so many people are seeking pleasure. This is the second one. So, little bit more on karma. Human beings seeking pleasure. It is not just controlled by the instincts. It is controlled by my likes and dislikes, rather and intuition. You like Kerala spicy food, but he may not like it. But why? Because you have developed a taste for it over a period of time. Maybe tomorrow you might pick up a taste for Mexican food and reject Kerala food. That also can happen. But what I'm saying is that it is a variable. From time to time it can changes, and from person to person it can changes. From place to place it can changes. And some places you see their food habit. Go to China or Laos or Vietnam, Korea. What they eat and what you eat. Yeah. So one person was telling me like, why? Means one Kerala guy came here first time, and he was telling me like he went to some American restaurant or some restaurant, and he saw the chicken, and he said like, why they wasting the chicken like this? The point I'm trying to say that what is delicious for X might be really bad for Y. And some people tell like some people go to say I like nature, so I like to go to a place like Switzerland or some nice places. For some people, one person was telling me that there is no life there. Why are you going there? I like to go to Las Vegas. But what I'm saying is that what you seek for pleasure is a variable from person to person, time to time. But that I seek pleasure, it's a constant form. isn't it? Your children also seek pleasure. Snapchat, Facebook, Nintendo Switch, what is it? Spotify, Spotify. All these are, and you may wonder what these people are doing there. And your parents, if they see this, they couldn't even follow. But again, just underline that. What you seek as security and pleasure is a variable from person to person, time to time. But that you seek security and pleasure is always a constant. There would be some security you would be seeking, and there will be some pleasure. Such a profound teaching. This is so obvious, right? But it is so obvious. But nobody has systematized this. You're talking about 5,000 years back, this classification. And what I said is I just quoted from an Upanishad. I'll come to that. That I seek security. What I seek as security and pleasure is a variable, but that I seek security and pleasure is a constant. It's such a profound and very valuable truth, the whole world. Okay. So that's what I was putting this here. Okay. So okay. This is very good. So we already talked about this. The human likes and dislikes shift not only with regards to objects but also towards people. You may dislike the presence of some people. Once upon a time, she was my lover, but now I really want her to go away from me. That also can happen. So that's why Swami Chidananda again tells Swami Chidananda was a master of communication. So he tells there are two types of people. One set of people brings happiness wherever they go. Second set of people, whenever they go, they make people happy. Why? Why I like Kailash? Because I'm able to relate some connections there. But if I cannot relate, I cannot stand. And the trouble starts when within families they cannot relate. That is the problem. And now the problem, today I may relate with them, but tomorrow it can change. I saw several love marriages. And most of the love marriages I saw, now the state is pathetic. I personally know at least 10 12 people of my friends, close friends. And I still remember one guy telling me, if I cannot marry her, I will die. And now that guy is telling me, if I cannot escape from her, I will die. I'm not joking. This is literally true. So what I'm saying is that what you see as security, what you see as pleasure, it could be people, place, situation, and that's completely a variable. So when your child was 3-year-old, a dollar shop balloon would have good enough. And now, as I said, like even the Nintendo Switch may not make them happy. So this you have to understand that you always want security, you always want pleasure, but the challenge is what you find as security is a variable. It changes from time to time. So by the time you acquire and possess all that thing you think that as security and pleasure, don't. It's like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. You cannot measure the position and momentum of a subatomic particle. By the time you measure the position, the momentum is changing. And very process of measuring will change the position of the particle. That uncertainty principle is 100% applicable in this security question. So, coming back, both human beings and animals seek these two goals. The only difference is that human beings are extremely creative in identifying and seeking securities and pleasures because of their wonderful intellect and collective intellect. Even if I don't think about a new game, somebody else in the market will come out and make people.
Wanted.
The entire materialistic world is driving, not exploiting, making use of this both security and pleasure. Everything in the world, everything in this material world is driven by every advertisement you see, it will be either for your security or for the pleasure. 90% of the activities you do on a day-by-day basis, it can be put either in this bucket or in that bucket. Correct? You agree with me, right? Don't agree with me. Otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So now the problem is, I said, the human beings are wonderful. We have the capacity of imagination. We can, yeah, what I see security, how I see that security, millions of options are available to me. I want to become rich. I have hundreds of choices, right? I can pursue a career. I can cheat another person. I can loot. I can do so many things. How to achieve this security? How to achieve this pleasure? I can do so many things. So when you are evolving little bit, don't you think that we need some guidance? Some guidance which tells me how to seek the securities and happiness. And if there is a guidance, and that guidance is known as karma, right? I can seek money, but I cannot cheat Kailash Ji and make money. I can seek pleasure, but not at the cost of somebody else's. By cutting somebody else's throat, if I'm seeking pleasure, that is inhuman. So, this gave rise to the third goal. So, the animals cannot do, means, how can you say that animal need to be ethical? No, because they're a lion killing the deer. It is natural, it is programmed, there is nothing wrong. So there is, animals cannot do good, animals cannot do bad. Whereas a human being can be extremely good and the human being can be extremely bad. Since the choice of my actions are infinite, how do I seek security? How do I seek pleasure? I can employ hundreds of different options. I needed a set of norms that tells me, that controls me, that helps me to choose my actions and goals in such a way that it conforms to the natural order of the universe. And that goal is known as dharma. And when I do, so dharma is the set of standards independent of any individual's subjective values. Independent of that, I cannot cheat you. Is that just applicable to Kailashji and not applicable to Rajesh? No, that is universal laws. I cannot cheat anyone. Even if I'm hungry, I cannot kill a human being and eat. There are certain norms that has to be followed. That is the dignity of a human being. And that rules are called dharma. And it is not subjected to any individual's choice. Whereas what I seek as security is subjected to my choice. But it has to be constrained. It has to be under that rules of dharma. And this is what is dharma. Is this clear? Dharma probably is the most complicated word in our culture. I think we spent 1.5 or 2 hours explaining dharma. But here in this context, it means this. And here, one more thing is dharma guide means this. All these words are very important. Dharma guides to make choice from a set of options. To be dharmic means I am matured as a human. Otherwise, I'm like animal. So there is a story which tells, right? So once all these Puranas are illustrating this story. One day these asuras went to Lord and complained, right? Anywhere, any Purana story is like that. Devas and asuras will fight, and the gods will always support devas. They said like, you are always partial. You always support devas. Why? So Lord said, I'll prove that, right? So he said, I'm going to do an experiment. So what he did was the next day he went to the Asura Loka and put a lot of sweets in one box. And the same thing he did the Devaloka. What the Asuras did? Everybody rushed to take the sweets. And in the end, the whole sweets got destroyed. The whole pot got down and broken. And what did the Deva do? The first one took, gave to the second one, and finally, same situation, right? If I am the means to pursue my goal, if that is cutting throat of the animal, instincts may tell me to do X, Y, and Z, right? Instinct may tell to shout at you. But I took a break between my feeling and response. Basal ganglia, this brain has a apparatus which helps you to develop that skill. We'll see this in Bhagavad Gita later on. In the emotional intelligence also. You can develop that skill very well so that you can control your response to the situation. So this is very important. So dharma helps you to conform to that rules. And be dharmic means be human. And now you may say that, okay, I don't know the rules. I don't know the dharma. I haven't studied Bhagavad Gita. I haven't studied Vedas. What Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic dharma is common sense. What is the basic dharma? You don't want to treat another person if you don't want to get treated that way. Right? Treat everybody in a way that you wish to get treated. That is the simple rule of dharma. And this is common sense. Don't say that I don't know the dharma. And also understand that dharma is not, and a non-religious person can be a dharmic person. And dharma is not connected with religion at all. Bertrand Russell, he was an agnostic. He was one of the best dharmic person in the whole world. So it's not important to be religious. And now, one more thing. Why dharma is considered as a purushartha? This dharma, we consider, our scriptures consider dharma as an invisible form of life. When my actions are conformed to dharma, the other day I explained, every karma has a direct result and an indirect result. Drishtam, adrishtam. In Tamil they call there is a word, very similar word.
Yeah.
So there is a drishta phala, there is an adrishta phala. When I conforms myself, when I follows dharma, I get a dividend to my account. And that dividend is known as punya. This is the definition of punya. Punya is not somebody just randomly throwing, right? God will think Pradeep ji will get 5 units of punya today because he praised me 50 times. And that's not the case. The punya you have to earn. How do you earn? When you do dharma, when you live in line with dharma, what is happening is you're accumulating. On the other hand, when you violate dharma, what is going to happen? You're accruing what? Papa. So how does punya and papa work? This time, or if you believe in the rebirth, next time, there's a word in luck in every culture. I said, right? You say luck, and we don't say that as luck. We say that nobody can randomly get luck. That luck is what is your karma. This is the essence of law of karma. And karma is pretty much connected to that. So what we are told is you are responsible for your destiny. And follow the dharma. That is why the famous saying is dharma rachati rachita. If you protect dharma, dharma will protect. And when you do accumulate a lot of punyas, what happens is you will see that the situations and the places and people automatically turn around in front of you. I cannot prove it, but definitely you can try to live your life and you will see this in your life. Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. So at least you will have that maturity to face the life. Very, very positive. So this is the Vedas or the Vedanta don't give a judgmental capacity to God. Right? This is a big difference. You have to understand. and nobody will be judging you. Your own actions will be judged. This is what the other scripture also tells, right? In Bible, what they say, as you sow,
So shall you reap.
every scripture tells that. Buddha tells the same thing. So it's all symbolic. So if you really read the Bible and or other literature, you can see a lot of symbolism. Don't take it very much literally; it will create problems. But if you think every scripture is talking about the same thing, be dharmic. So this three, right? So we are allowed to pursue artha and kama in line with these three goals. Now, what the dharma can give you? It can give you some more artha and some more kama, because favorable conditions means you are getting better artha and better kama. That's it. So now let's go to the fourth goal. Fourth goal is known as moksha.
See, dharma is like a credit score.
Credit score. Yeah, exactly.
The better your credit score, the better things you get
Yeah.
artha and
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I think you said last class, it's good to whatever is in harmony
Correct.
remains. Whichever action is in harmony, nature,
You need to read
that is dharma.
Correct.
And whichever is not.
Yeah, that is
So
dharma.
not aid the universe
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah.
Is
Dharma, exactly. That's the definition of dharma. So even the body, sharira dharma. Remember, I called out five different dharmas, the class of dharma. So you can go and refer that material. Like one dharma is sharira dharma. If you don't follow the sharira dharma, what is the sharira dharma? Bhagavad Gita, 6 chapter 17 verse. By heart that yuktahara viharasya yogo bhavati. Yukta ahara. You have to, your ahara intake, food needs to be controlled. Explanation, quality, and time. Balance that. Yukta cheshta, your entertain, your yukta ahara vihara. Vihara means your entertainments, recreation. Recreation needs to be controlled. Not too much. Yukta cheshta, your activity, body activity needs to be not too much, not too less. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Yukta sopnavabodhasya. Sleep, not too much. Yogo bhavati. Yukaha. Yoga means by practicing this, you will eliminate. So, 5,000 years back, lifestyle change program came 50 years back in the world, modern world. And this, you go to CDC's diabetic prevention program. These are the three, you did that, right? So stress, reduce the weight, balanced diet. Nothing more than that. What else is more than this? So this dharma, so sharira dharma means the with respect to society. So dharma is very important. Now let's go to the last. So what happens is, what is this moksha? Literal meaning is what? Freedom. Freedom from what?
suffering.
Yeah. I seek security. I seek happiness. Always. And I had to seek punya. For what? Again, I wanted to make sure that I have better life and to have another life. Why? I always feel inadequate. Self-inadequacy is a common problem for everybody. I don't feel secure because I cannot stand if I get a disease, terminal disease. I cannot stand if X is not in front of me. I cannot stand if Y is in front of me. I cannot stand if my job has something. I cannot stand so many things. I wanted the political situation like this. I wanted the economical situation like this. I wanted the health to be like this. I wanted the relationship to be like this. I wanted my children to behave exactly as I wanted. So there are so many things, and my security and happiness are dependent upon so many things. Think for a one moment. I'm not saying that we should not have security, but we feel secure, we feel happy only when hundreds of things are alive. And unfortunately, in the whole world, None of these things will align together. Somebody was joking the other day, right? When you were a student, you had time, you had help, but you didn't have money to do it. As a professional, I have money, I have help, but I don't have time. And as a retired person, I have money, I have time, but now I don't have help. So it's a variable, like nobody, whatever, even the medical science advances to the best, how much it can extend your life. 120 years, I think that is the maximum, right? Forget it, 200 years,
That's where they headed.
right? 200 years. Still, there will be a time to go. So, this insecurity feeling will be there always. Unhappiness will be there always. I thought if I have a home theater, I will be happy. Means if I take the same example as a kid, movie is source of happiness. Everybody has home theater, and so home theater now. But what I see as something that gives me happiness, it changed. So, am I caught up in this web? Am I caught up in this problem always from womb to tomb? Am I struggling for security and happiness? That's an important question that comes to any maturity point. That's a very important question. Here, Vedas comes and tells me, the Rishis comes and tells me, oh child, right? This is very one Upanishad. Dukkham sarvatra dukkham. Everywhere is sorrow. Is there any way out? Can I get out of this? Should I go to a heaven or should I die? Because see, I joked this, right? One pastor was telling, right? Okay, once you go to heaven, you will be completely happy. So then he asked, what do you do to get heaven? Like yourself, right? So all the commandments, he said. The backbencher stood up and he said, well, you have to die first. Practically, right? So are we talking about a postmortem reward? How can I achieve this security and happiness? Uninterrupted security and happiness. Is such a state exist? Or is it just theoretical? That question arises in the whole world. Since you could see every religion ultimately promises that. The means and the philosophy and the framework will be different. You have a salvation in Christianity, you have a moksha in Hinduism, you have nirvana in Buddhism, and you have paradise in Islam. Every religion talks about that. And that is the higher purpose of the religion or the spirituality. That is where the spirituality comes in. The normal transactional religion, why am I going to temple? I go there and pray God, right? Oh God, I get a promotion or my child get married. Those are I'm seeking upfront God. The higher spirituality begins when you start seeking something which gives me this freedom from all the sufferings. One point is, let me take 5 more minutes extra so I can finish it. So one thing I wanted to highlight here is you have to understand the difference between pain and suffering. What is pain? Is as long as you have human body, you will have pain. Pain is what? It's a neuro sensation. If I put my finger into fire, what is going to happen? A neural signal or sensation will be generated, and it's a means for my brain to communicate to my body, right? That's it. And even if you're enlightened, you're going to have it. But what is the difference? What is the problem? Having pain is one thing, but the reaction. Why did the like fire burned my hand? Why it didn't happen to Kailash Ji? God distributes his blessings in such a selective way that everybody else gets it. So the problem is not on that sensation of pain, but my response to that pain. Right? I get a headache. What do you have to do? You have to take the medication and go on. But the response to that headache, this is not good, this is unfair, this is Oh, I lost all these things, etc. Any situation means pain happens, that is going to happen. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa cried when he had cancer. But the moment the pain is over, he was gone. But if it was another person, the moment he was diagnosed with cancer, he's dead. So that's the difference. So don't have that wrong expectation that moksha means that person's body is like a Brazilian body without any cancer or Ramana Maharshi had cancer.
Somebody said pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional.
Pain is
It's just there on that on one of
Yeah.
the slides.
yeah, I just put that.
Yeah.
Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain you don't have any choice, but sufferings you have choice. So how do you develop that mental maturity? That
You were talking about Ramana Maharshi.
yeah, Ramana Maharshi had cancer. He had like severe pain, just like Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to cry. People used to come and what a pain. But after the pain, you can see him laughing and chatting with children and laughing. And I've seen a modern example. Some of them was also.
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. So he was diagnosed with his kidney diseases and was about to be airlifted to India. And at that point of time, we can I'll share that lecture. It's one of the most powerful lecture I have ever seen. It's like 2 weeks back. I may have life only for 2 weeks, and he was laughing. That's the strength. So what does that mean? The pain was there. He was suffering. So he had the pain, but he was not suffering. Wow. And this is the freedom from all the insecurity. Because you're not even afraid of death. You're not even afraid of diseases. You're not even afraid of any situation. You're ready to face any situation. Is that possible for me to develop that mental maturity? For that, Vedanta tells, yes, you can pursue that as a goal which enables me, because the very fact that I'm seeking security and happiness implies that I'm not completely happy, I'm not completely contented. And Vedanta theoretically postulates right now, because now onwards we are going to explore that one topic. So that's where I wanted to stop. So Vedanta tells me that you don't know your real nature. When you know your real nature, you imagine that a king by mistake thought that he's a beggar. When he realized that he is the multi-millionaire that Soro knows. So you cannot change yourself. You don't need to gain anything. You don't need to lose anything. You just need to know yourself. And when you know yourself, your real nature, all the insecurities, all the unhappiness will go. 10 people went to a temple for a trip. They had to cross a river. And when they crossed the river, they tried to count, and the person who counted saw the 9 people. When you see 9 people, everybody started crying. What happened? What happened? What was the real cause? He was not counting himself. A passerby came. He said, I will solve the problem. How? He said, you are the man. When he realized that, till then, he was completely insecure, completely unhappy. If they do prayer, is that going to change? If they do meditation and pranayama and yoga, is that going to change? That is why, if he's given 1 million, that's going to solve his problems. So the money, the study, prayer, nothing. Only knowledge can remove that problem. And that is why Vedanta tells you have to pursue that final goal, which is moksha, which is freedom from all the suffering. And ultimately, moksha is the primary goal of everything, because other goals are indirect goals that won't solve the problem. But as you can see, this on the top of the pyramid, only a few people even realize that you cannot gain all security, you cannot gain all unhappiness. In Mahabharata, there is a famous story. there is a question by Yudhishthira and Yaksha. Yudhishthira was asked, what is the biggest wonder of the world? What was the answer? I see everyday death. I hear about death, but I don't realize that I also have to go through that. We think that we will get one day completely secure and completely happy. That will never happen. If you cannot happy here today, you won't be happy. This is the basic lesson of Vedanta. And Vedanta helps you to find that happiness and peace here and right now. So this is moksha. So this moksha is particular to human. Animals don't have moksha. They are programmed. They don't seek dharma and moksha. It is only to human being. Artha and kama are common to all the animals. And finally, let me just bring your attention to one more topic. In modern psychology, not modern psychology, little bit 1940s, 50s, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow did a lot of research. What was his finding? Every human being first seek security, then seek pleasure, and finally, what is the top? Self-actualization. Self-actualization, his definition is not even compared to moksha, but still, this is accepted as a standard in modern management principle. Anybody did the PMP exam? Project management exam? This is a standard question. So, when the modern person said it is accepted as a huge findings, but this hierarchy is there in better than this 5,000 years back as Purushartha. So let me summarize what we said today. So what I did was
One question.
yeah.
Even among the 7 billion people, no, not everybody pursues the dharma or moksha.
Correct.
So, how does that categorize the rest who are not pursuing without knowledge?
It will eventually come there, right? It will eventually come. So I'll give a Vedantic answer. The Vedantic answer means it is like an evolution. You have to get matured. So what should I do, right? Initially, even all of us, initially we were not interested in these things. We thought that materialist things will make us completely happy. Once you pursue that little bit, right, you will realize that, okay, X, I thought X would make me happy. When I got X, I thought Y will make me happy. Then I thought Z will make me happy. Over a period of time, I realized, okay, there is a pattern and I need to pursue something else. And that is where the spirituality begins. And I would say, like, there is the Ramakrishna order, they say that, like, the Ramakrishna's birth, and that time they say that Satya Yuga, not the Puranic Satya Yuga. The reason they're saying is that if, means all of you coming to this lecture, right? Imagine 1,000 years back or 2,000 years back. If you want to learn this teaching, you have to go to Rishikesh somewhere. Now in America, North Brunswick, we are sitting and studying. So a lot of people are coming to this, and it is the level of maturity. You don't see. Suppose your child, say when means the toys they are playing right now. You don't want to be an expert in the Xbox, but you know that once he plays a little bit, he will exhaust. He will come back to study. That we know. Like that, let them go to Las Vegas. Let them to seek money, women, and pleasure over a period of time. Eventually, they will have to come back.
You'll still be worried about your family and kids, right? I understand the moksha part for yourself. For myself, this is good enough. I'm happy with what I'm in. But you'll still have to worry about what will happen after me, my family.
This is a subjective learning. You can always expose to them, but you cannot eat a pill and gain this, right? You cannot give them a pill and eat them and do it. At times, when time comes, so the first chapter of the Gita, there's a famous commentary, right? When you're ready, what is going to happen is the entire universe will come in front of you as teacher. When you're ready, the teacher will come. The fourth chapter of Gita, Krishna tells, right? That is not, I'm coming and killing anybody. No. When I'm ready for learning, you will see that, okay, a passerby gives me a Gita book, or it might be a child giving me the knowledge. So you will see the whole universe will come and teach you.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah,
I never that perspective. I never.
that is the perspective. We have to understand from the. It's not that Krishna will come and cut 15 people's head. No, Krishna is everywhere. Right? I don't know whether you read the Tolstoy's story. So one weaver was there. His name was Martin, and he had a dream. Tomorrow Jesus Christ will come and visit you. So in the morning he woke up and he started cooking and he was waiting for Christ. And the first person came was a person with a disease, like he cannot even walk. So what he did was he took care of him. And then some 7 or 8 people came. Everybody came except the Jesus. He was so sad. In the night, he had a dream. Jesus came and said, I came there for friends. And even in Krishna tells in the 4th chapter, Shankaracharya tells, right, when you are completely alone, right, that time a friend gives you a call and you are able to open up and you cried and you relaxed. See Krishna. So Krishna will come in different forms in different situations. You will see that, okay, I just watched an advertisement the other day, right? I was so relaxed. This is when you understand the whole picture, right? You will see Krishna's Sambhavami Yuge. It will happen. We will elaborate this topic in detail later. But let's come back to the topic. So there are certain goals pursued by everybody. Whatever we do can be categorized into one of the goals in the human life. And these goals are 4: Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. And Artha and Kama are pursued by both humans and animals. But animals, the possibilities are less, but still they face it. Dharma means it will constrain, it will put a set of norms for pursuing Artha and Kama Punya. So that's why it's a goal. And finally, how do I get out of all these problems? Freedom from suffering, freedom from all the insecurity. Last but not least, please don't say that moksha's goal is make you free from all the rebirth. It is true, but that is not the goal, right? That is why these Indologists used to say that Hinduism is a world-denying religion. Moksha means you are not seeking, you are not trying to escape from life. You are making sure that in this life, you are free from all the insecurities and unhappiness. This is very important. So this is a very important topic. And the next topic we are going to do is a primer on self. Okay? So from the body level, mind level, intellect level, we will go, and we will now onwards, we are trying to pursue how can I know myself? Because today I said, right, knowing yourself, you will be freed from all the insecurities and unhappiness. See, look at this, there is a connection. The other day we saw that Vedanta means it is a study of myself. Today I am saying that knowing myself will free from all the insecurities and unhappiness. Now we are trying to know myself. We are going to employ a certain tools and techniques, Vritrishya, Viveka, Panchakosha, all these are tools and techniques in knowing myself. So in knowing myself, I need to know what is not me and what is me. This is the systematic journey. This is the theme of all the operations. Okay, any questions? Anything? Great. So we'll see on Sunday with the Bhagavad Gita, we will cover the verses 6 to 7 to 12.
Battery was just enough for the last.
So
It's like
it stays only 1 hour.
yeah. I think you need an extended battery probably.
Or we can.
Oh, we can just plug it in.
extension.
Yeah, I think that'll be
power
better. Yeah.
extension.
We'll do
Today
that.
it was full charge.
Yeah, okay. It just finished when your class done. We just finished.
1 hour 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there were 3 people watching online. Facebook live. Do we have a
Gita we can go.
yeah? Do we have a Google account? Does P-Self have
Yeah,
has a Google
College
account?
of USA.
Okay.
And no,
Oh, that's. Can you just text me that?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So uncle, you're going back. So വളരെ സന്തോഷം. Thank you very much for being here. You get better opportunity back in Kerala. Practically, an mission center is there, and
We see a lot of animals.
so much fun.
ഇന്ന് പോയില്ലേ പ്രദീപ്?
Oh,
അവിടെ പോയില്ലേ? അവിടെ പോയില്ലേ? ഏ?
Next week.
ഓ ഓക്കെ. ഞാൻ വിളിച്ചിരുന്നാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ വന്നിട്ടില്ല.
Still have a record. How is everything with you?
I was going to come, but then I didn't know you were coming. I got to pick you up.
I was out.
So,
Just
Just came back.
and came back.
ഞാൻ പെട്ടെന്ന് അവിടെ പോയില്ലേ അല്ല പെട്ടെന്ന് കണ്ടപ്പോഴേ അല്ല 3 പേര് കണക്റ്റഡ് ആണ്. എത്ര മണിക്കാണ്? പത്നാമതി ദിവസം
കുറച്ച് നേരത്തെ എത്തേണ്ടി വരും. ഒരു 8 മണിക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയാ പോരെ? എത്ര നേരമുണ്ട് ഇവിടുന്ന്?
ആ സെയിം ഇവിടെ അല്ലേ മംഗോമരിയിലല്ലേ? ഇവിടെ പോയി ഇവിടുത്തെ കൂടെ പോയി അതേ വഴി തന്നെ അല്ലേ? ഒരു 20-25 മിനിറ്റ്സ് അല്ലേ മാക്സിമം?
അരമണിക്കൂർ മുമ്പ്
അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ.
ഒരു 8:15 ആവുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഇറങ്ങിയിട്ട്
റൈറ്റ് റൈറ്റ് റൈറ്റ്.
അത് ഇപ്പോഴും വളരെ പക്ഷെ അവർക്ക് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ റീപ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് ഇല്ല.